Okay, so this is it. This is the one everybody's been whispering about for years. The streaming giant is buying the Hollywood legend. Yep, you heard that right. Netflix is acquiring Warner Bros. And look, this isn't just another merger. This is a full-on earthquake that is completely reshaping the entire entertainment industry. We're going to break down exactly how this happened and what it means for everything from the future of DC to, the price of your subscriptions.
And let's not mince words here. This is, hands down, the biggest deal in the history of entertainment. It creates a single company that has both the world's biggest streaming platform and arguably the most iconic library of characters and stories ever put together. The aftershocks from this are going to redefine everything we thought we knew about the streaming wars.
And this slide, this really gets to the heart of it all. On one side, you've got Netflix, right? The tech behemoth with a massive global audience, but they're always hungry for proven big-name franchises. And on the other side, you have Warner Bros., the 100-year-old dream factory, home to icons like Batman, Harry Potter, and of course, the prestige of HBO, but a company that's had a tough time competing in the global streaming game. So what this is, really, is a fusion of new school distribution and old school legacy. So let's dive into the deal itself. We're going to unpack that absolutely massive number, see how it stacks up against other huge mergers, and lay out the timeline for how these two titans will actually become one. $82.7 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a staggering figure, but think about what it's actually buying. This isn't just a library of old movies. It is literally the keys to Gotham City, to Hogwarts, to Westeros. It's the studios, the creative talent, and a whole century of brand power. For Netflix, this is a shortcut to a legacy that would have taken them decades to build on their own. And this chart right here really puts that number into perspective. For years, Disney's purchase of Fox was the benchmark, the biggest deal we'd ever seen. Well, this deal just blows right past it. It's a huge signal that in today's media world, owning both the pipes, that's the streaming service, and the water, that's the content, is the ultimate prize. And companies are willing to pay a historic price to get it. It's also really important to understand what Netflix isn't buying. This was a surgical strike. They are targeting the crown jewels, the movie and TV studios, HBO, and that legendary vault of IP. What they're leaving behind are the traditional cable channels, what the industry calls linear TV, because frankly, they see them as a thing of the past. This whole thing is a massive bet on the future of streaming. But hey, don't expect things to change overnight. This timeline shows we're just at the very beginning of this process. It has to get through regulators, other assets have to be spun off. The deal probably won't even close until late 2026. The real integration, the stuff you and I will actually notice, probably won't even start until 2027. So for now, it's pretty much business as usual. All right, enough of the business speak. Let's get to the questions that actually matter to all of us as fans. How is this going to affect the shows and movies that we love? Let's tackle the big ones head on. Okay, this is probably the number one question on everybody's mind. With Netflix taking over, is the HBO Max app and all that amazing exclusive content just going to get swallowed up and disappear into the Netflix menu? And the answer, for now at least, is a surprising no. Netflix gets it. They know how powerful and prestigious the HBO brand is. Forcing everyone onto a new app would just be a mess. So they're keeping it as its own separate premium service. Kind of think of it like Disney's strategy with Hulu. The two apps will live side by side, although you can probably expect to see more shared library content popping up over time to sweeten the deal for both platforms. All right, next big question, and this is a huge one for movie lovers. We all know Netflix's model, right? A movie shows up in a few theaters for a week, maybe, and then bam, it's streaming. So does this mean the end of the big screen blockbuster experience for DC films? And again, the strategy here seems to be, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Netflix understands that a big theatrical release is basically a billion-dollar marketing event. It builds hype for a franchise in a way a streaming premiere just can't. Plus, it's a massive revenue stream they are not about to give up. So Warner Brothers films will keep their full theatrical runs, while Netflix's own original movies will stick to their current streaming-first model. Now, this one's for the fans who are really invested in the whole long-term story that's being built for the DC universe. With a brand new owner, does this mean a complete creative shakeup is on the way? And once again, the message from Netflix is all about stability. They know that coming in and meddling with a decade-long creative plan would be an absolute disaster. James Gunn and Peter Safran have been given the green light to see their Chapter 1 vision all the way through, with no interference. For Netflix, Buying DC was about getting a successful studio, not playing puppet master with it. So now that we've handled the immediate concerns, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What does a combined Netflix and Warner Bros. Mean for the future of entertainment and, well, the streaming wars as a whole? So you see this quote from Netflix's CEO, and it sounds nice, right? But let's translate the PR speak a little. Give audiences more of what they love really means using Warner's proven hits to cut down on Netflix's risky spending on brand new shows. And define the next century of storytelling, that means creating an entertainment giant so powerful that rivals like Disney are going to be playing catch-up for a very long time. So let's just boil it all down to what this means for you right now when you sit down on your couch tonight. And honestly, in the short term, not much is changing. Your subscriptions, your accounts, they'll all work just like they do today. Theatrical movies are still going to be in theaters, and HBO premieres are still going to be on Max. The biggest immediate change is actually a good one. You're going to start seeing a lot more classic Warner Bros. Stuff popping up in your Netflix library. And this brings us to the final and most important question. I mean, history shows that when these massive companies merge, it often leads to less choice and less creativity for everyone else. So when all the dust settles, is a deal this huge actually a good thing for us, the audience?
So, is it a good thing? The reality is, it's complicated. Anytime this much power ends up in one place, there are big risks for creativity and for consumer choice. But these initial promises to keep the theatrical experience, to protect the HBO brand, to let the DC creators do their thing are all good signs. It seems like Netflix understands it bought a collection of unique cultures, not just a content factory. The result is an entertainment behemoth unlike anything we have ever seen. Whether that leads to a golden age of content or a creative monopoly, well, the real test begins now.